Hi, everyone. Today we are honored to be having this podcast with Coach Isabel. Isabel is an integrative nutrition coach, and she's also a wellness coach and a yoga instructor. Hi, Isabel. How are you?
Hi, Myra. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm very, very good. How are you?
Good. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, thank you so much. I am a holistic health coach. I graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in New York in 2014 and started working as a health coach right away the following year. And it's been, I have to say, the most rewarding time of my life. I have a background in academia. I have a PhD in applied linguistics and used to be a college professor. So this was a huge shift for me. Now I get to spend my days opening up to individuals who are looking for answers. And it means a lot to me to be able to help guide them through their inner world.
That's awesome. It's amazing. Inner world. Um, the quote I always mention in my videos is the change you want to see in the world is really inside you.
That's it.
Okay, so let's tell us. This is interesting story. What made you shift gears and move from teaching to coaching?
Yeah, actually, I love teaching. I think I was born a teacher. Um, I love it. So I spent many years in academia teaching in college, but um, I came to a point in my life where when I felt that I needed something different, something more personal. And for me, being of service, like teaching, which is a service occupation, is really important to me to
Yeah,
be of service to humanity. And I actually had a my own personal experience with overweight growing up for many, many years, more than 20 years of my life struggling with weight, which led to my learning about nutrition, looking for answers. And I had an inner transformation that changed my life completely. Um, so when I came to that point in my life where I was just anxious about something else, I started to look at what makes me happy, what would make me happy, how can I contribute differently to humanity. And and I figure that this amazing transformation, inner transformation I went through, like this feeling of freedom, is something I really wanted to be able to share with others. And I thought, okay, now I can be of service, but one on one instead of just being there for an entire classroom. So I decided to start over again, went back to school, started being formally trained because I wanted to do it well. I wanted to do this right and be the best, health coach that I could be for, anyone I would get to work with.
yeah, you definitely are. So, what makes the training at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition so special? What does the teaching there make the health coach so special?
Yeah, it's beautiful actually because I went into it um, thanks to my interest in nutrition and weight loss and your relationship with your body and with food. But one of the first things they teach you in IIN, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, is their philosophy is there's primary foods and secondary foods. And primary foods are your relationships, your spirituality, your work, your whole life. And then secondary foods is the actual food you eat. So what does that mean? It means you have to attend to everything in your life if you want to heal your relationship with food and with your body. So that changed my perspective very much about how to approach this type of coaching that I could do. And it was very enriching, very eye-opening, and very holistic. I think from the get-go with that, um, foundation that they have in terms of the primary foods and secondary foods, it already represents what this type of, that's why it's called a holistic health coaching, because you can't just look at one thing in your life, you know? It's like when you go to the doctor, you can't just look at the stomach or just look at the heart. It's the same with food. You can just look at the food and try to make the changes you want to make by deciding I'm going to eat this and not that. There's so much that goes into it. You know, how good you feel about yourself, how good you feel in your relationships, how good you feel at work, how your spirituality is developing. There's many things that influence your daily decisions. So we need to look at all of it. And so I learned about all types of diets, you know, nutrition itself, but it's a very, again, like well-rounded, holistic perspective, which was beautiful for me.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. Some mind-body connection and the
Mm-hmm.
connection to food. You know, in functional medicine, we always say when it's the gut feeling, you have the 5R protocol. You know, replace, remove the pathogens, replace the digestive enzymes, re-inoculate probiotic and symbiotic, and the most important one is really rebalance your life. So I
Mm-hmm.
totally, yeah, it's like you have to rebalance your life and your relationship with the food. What are you feeling and you're thinking about what you're eating the food? It's what matters.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's really good. Okay, give us some, you know, we want to shed the light about your clinical experience as a nutrition coach and some of the cases that were so challenging to you.
Yeah, my very first experience when after I graduated from IIN, I started working for a physician, doctor of osteopathy, in her medical practice with her patients. So I went into a clinical approach, right, type of practice right away, and we had a lot of patients coming with metabolic syndrome, Hashimoto's, with a few autoimmune diseases that we had to look at. So they had the medical supervision from the physician, and then they also had the extra support from the health coach. And so it was interesting because you get to see, I mean, as a whole, it's like we're all needing the same. You know, that's very interesting to me from working one-on-one with individuals. They all come with a different issue or a different disease, but in the end, like deep down, it's like we all have something in common. We're all looking for, you know, that love, that something that's missing inside. So that's interesting, I think. But it was new to me, like keeping track of numbers, checking um, their you know, like glycemic index levels, and a lot of like their weight, a lot of different things that I hadn't actually worked with before. So it was really nice to be able to approach different cases and understanding that even though we're all looking for the same, there are sometimes like particular events in our life or characteristics about the person that need to be looked at. And I think that's why working with somebody like a health coach helps, because we can get a little deeper than into their personal case, like what makes them choose certain foods and why, how actually they can begin to heal from within so that these choices change. So again, instead of focusing so much on the outside and the outer world, focusing on the inner
Mm,
world.
right. Yeah, that's what's actually going to be my next question to you. Well, if somebody's already under medical supervision with a functional medicine doctor who already has experience as a medical doctor and a functional doctor, why would they need to see a health coach or a nutrition coach? And what is that adding to their health plan?
Yeah, I think someone that comes to a functional medical functional medicine doctor is desperate for answers. um, I know sometimes it's like they go to other, like specialized types of doctors, and then if they don't have answers, they go to a functional medicine doctor because they don't know what to do. And so the person comes with many questions, many doubts, not understanding what's happening to them, and that can be very unsettling. So on the one hand, they're dealing with a physical issue, an illness that they don't understand, they don't know what it is, and they don't know how to deal with it. And on the other hand, on top of that, there's the uncertainty, the not knowing, though I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what's going to happen with me. So there's a lot of emotional turmoil that happens when, sorry, I get chills. There's a lot of emotional turmoil that happens when you go through something like that, because I know why by the time the person comes to you, they've already been looking for, so they've been having this stuff for a long time and they don't know
15
what
other,
to do. Yeah.
at least
And
15
so,
other doctors.
yeah, that's right. That's what I've seen too. And so finally they're starting to have answers. Great. They know what's going on. But what's happening inside, it's still inside. And so that's something else that I feel they need support with. They need someone that can hold their hand and say, look, let's figure this out together. This is a big deal, what you're going through, and I feel it. I understand. I mean, I don't understand from personal experience, but I understand what uncertainty feels like. Um, and so I think they are having somebody who can just hold space for them and be like, you know what? This is a big deal. Let's try to figure out how you're really feeling and how you can manage all this emotional roller coaster that you're going through, because it involves so many different aspects of your life, like we're talking about maybe changing their daily routine, it affecting their relationships, it affecting their jobs. There's so much. It's not just dealing with the illness, you know. So I think that makes a big difference from the patients I've had the pleasure and the honor to work with. Um, the feedback I get most often is that it's like, oh, like it feels so good to be able to understand what's happening and look at it, actually look at what's happening within yourself, because we work a lot on self-awareness is what I like to work on, so they can understand themselves and understand that what they're feeling is okay, everything they're going through is okay and makes sense at this point, but how do we learn to manage that from now on so it doesn't also become an issue?
Yeah,
um it's very special to me, I think, to be able to hold their hand, through this
yeah,
process.
sure, sure. It's very rewarding
Yeah.
and it's very essential part of the treatment
Hmm.
process. What Working with you, why would I choose you versus any other health or nutrition coach?
Um, well, I think there's I believe a lot in energy. And so when
I
somebody
agree.
comes
I
to
agree.
me, yeah, yeah, I know. This is
It
how
took
we
me,
also, this is
yeah,
how
it took
we
me the
also
first 10,
connected.
when we first
Yeah.
met, it took me the first 10 minutes to feel the
Yeah.
energy.
So I don't believe in coincidence, or randomness. So by the time we meet, we're face to face, I always say, okay, if we're here, it's for a reason, like we were meant to
Very true.
be, like
That's very
a romantic relationship, kind of. That's what I mean. That's how I feel about it. Sometimes I don't tell them that so they don't um get scared that we have chosen each other
true.
before coming to this point. But I think one of the best things I can offer to the patients that get to be part of my coaching is my empathy. It's a quality I think I was born with. Like my family always talks about that. Like they don't know how I can be so empathic, empathetic with people, but I really like that. And I'm very patient too. Um, so I think that, I mean, we need a lot of that in this world. And my being able to offer it to somebody who's struggling, and who is looking for answers and doesn't know how to handle what's happening, um, it it creates a very safe space for them. They feel heard, they feel understood, they feel, for me, it's like, I mean, we do it together. I don't think it's just me. So first they come to you and then they come to me. And I think together we like reshape the ground underneath their feet. It's like, okay, okay, I can stand up again. Like they start to feel that strong ground underneath. It's like, and I think that's what I offer. I think my empathy is my highest quality. And so I think I was chosen for this type of service because of that in a way. And I like to connect with people. I mean, as part of that empathy, of course, and it's easy for people to connect with me. So for me, this is a gift. I've met people randomly at a restaurant or something. Somebody introduces us, and the first 10 minutes, they are telling me about their whole life and crying. And they're like, "What did you do to me? Like, I don't know what's happening." I'm like, "I didn't do anything." But I think they feel safe.
Yeah.
I am not judgmental, and so I allow them to open up and just be truthful, be authentic, just be honest, and that can feel really good, I think.
Yeah, that's very, very true about you. Patients always compliment and say they felt in a safe place.
Yeah, yeah, good.
They felt that you offer them a safe place so they can open up and we can explore the trauma that was inside
Mm-hmm.
them. It's so
Yeah,
interesting when you find them speaking for the first time and finally they are heard. And then while they're speaking, you see the tears coming out of their eyes
yeah,
because this is the first time anybody was ever interested in their story and ever
right.
really heard their story. And it's so heartbreaking, but it's so uplifting to
Yeah.
feel like, and then you feel like the change started to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
That's right.
Very true. Very true. It's so interesting because I was just in a webinar recently and they were talking about the difference between the definition of sympathy and empathy. Like sympathy, you feel sorry for the person, but you're not really feeling it.
Yeah.
But empathy is more about you really feeling from your heart and you are really connecting with that person. It
Mm-hmm.
can be detached, but it can be connected. This connection is what's building the ground of very important relationship that will last for a very long time and will be very essential thing in the healing process. So
Right. Essential.
thank you for your empathy and offering a safe space for patients.
Yeah. Thank you, life.
Now, I know that coaching is not your only talent. I know you have multiple other talents. So can we shed the light on some other talents? I heard that one of the things that also caught my attention when we first met that you are a yoga instructor. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. Yoga has been a big part of my own inner transformation. So I mentioned how I used to struggle with overweight. Um, and so I think this allows me also to be very empathetic with people because even though it may feel like it's just excess weight, what used to happen with me was a daily battle inside, um, with myself and with food. And this is very difficult to have to live like that. So I was very disconnected from my own body because I was at war with it. I Yoga helped me heal this relationship with myself, with my body. Yoga means union. And so you can't help, like if you, when you get on the mat, it's like, for me, the mat um, is a metaphor for life. It's what I've learned in my practice. It's everything that happens on the mat is exactly how you manage, how you handle, how you manage yourself in life, how you move, where your mind takes you. This is difficult, or I can do this, or why are you doing this to me? Everything that happens on the mat is a reflection of your daily life. So this is what I enjoy the most about the practice of yoga. So first, it helped me find a true connection with my body, which was new to me. And so, um, same, like I came to a point when I was like, I need to share this. Like it's been so healing, so transformational, so beautiful, so loving for me. I want to be able to share this with others. So I made the decision. I think life made the decision for me. I remember I went to a yoga class when I had already thought next year I'm gonna get certified. First time at a yoga studio, and the teacher came to me afterwards and said, "Are you a yoga teacher?" And I said, "No, but I'm thinking about getting certified." She said, "Come to me when you're ready." And I was like, "Okay, that's it. That means it's time, because I kept feeling like, not yet, not yet, not yet. I'm not ready. I'm not there." And then I figured, no, this isn't about the pose. It's about the union, the connection, the feeling, the mindfulness that happens during the yoga practice. That's why I like to practice, and that's how I teach too. So the way I teach, I think it's a different approach because I focus so much on mindfulness and presence. So I always invite the practitioners, the clients, to focus on where is your mind taking you right now.
Mhm.
Notice, pay attention. So I always remind them, this right here, tiny space in the mat, is one of the most wonderful opportunities for you to learn about yourself. It's not just showing up and, oh, I made it to this pose. There's so much more to it that we don't often realize. That's why I enjoy it. And I can
Wow.
also see so much about the person, when they're practicing, if they're disconnected, if their mind is wandering, you can see it, and so it's a very nice opportunity for me. It's one of the greatest ways to practice mindfulness. Um, I think for someone who struggles, especially if it's a physical imbalance, some type of illness or obesity, or something related to the body, practicing yoga, because it was my personal experience, I think it's just a beautiful way to you to come back home.
That's great.
So that's how I see the body now, as a home. And I think that's what the practice allows you to do, and that's what I like to share.
Yeah, that's
Maybe not
great.
making a head, like it doesn't matter where you get to me, but how you feel is what
Yeah.
truly matters.
Yes. It's journey from unity to multiplicity and back
Hmm.
from multiplicity to unity, because we're just part of this universe. We think um, that we're the most intelligent species out there and everything, but we are actually just part of this big universe, and
Yeah,
we have to respect that we're
yeah,
way, way small, and we have to come back and unite with this universe and unite from
yeah,
within, from ourselves, really. And I think yoga is an amazing tool
yeah.
to help patients, because a lot of it's not about the positions and the postures. It's really, as you said, it's all about the mindfulness and being
Hmm.
present and being unified with the world around you. So it's
Yeah,
amazing, and knowing that will be it's an amazing tool that you can use with patients.
yeah,
So
that's
we're
right.
grateful that you're a yoga instructor.
Yeah.
Now, I heard also you have other talents. So would you like to talk about your other talents to me?
Um, okay, so I do a little bit of, is this what you're talking about? Wellness, corporate wellness?
Yeah, the
Okay.
wellness programs, like you can design wellness programs, and you can,
Yeah.
like if a patient comes to you and with the struggles, you can design a whole wellness program.
That's right. So I've designed wellness programs for individuals and for companies as well. I have a master's degree in wellness management. So it was based around corporate wellness. And it's something that, I mean, it's also everything wellness is interesting to me. So it's a different perspective. It's different for me because when you're working with a group of employees who maybe are not the ones who are interested in feeling good and improving their health, but it's the management that's assigning this program to them, there's other things you have to consider. It's not like working one-on-one with somebody who chooses this type of support. So I've designed wellness programs for corporations as well, and it's fun, I think. It's different, but it's a very nice way for me. It's a great opportunity to introduce them, anyone that's going to be part of the program, to a new perspective about their body, about their choices, about mindfulness, because I always like to include some type of mindfulness practice, um, about food choices and taking care of their own well-being in general. So it's there's a little bit about this radical responsibility, becoming responsible for your own health and your own well-being. It's what they get to learn in a program like that. So it's different, but it's very interesting.
That's awesome, Isabel. If you have one word or a message that you would like to say to our audience today, what would you like to tell them?
The wood what, sorry?
If you have one message
Mhm.
or one word, like a sentence or a word, that you would like to say to the patient or our audience today, what would you like to tell them?
Wow, okay. I think one of the most important pieces I have found in my own journey and coaching, I would say, is truth. Being truthful to ourselves. Not the easiest thing, but the most transformational of all, I think. So I think looking for that truth and allowing ourselves to be truthful to ourselves, at least, it's the least we can do for ourselves, is if we really want to live our life, like truly live our life.
I totally agree with you. It's the are we this is what we I always tell people, are you looking at the world outside or are you looking to the world that's inside? It's like you
That's
got to
right.
look in the world that's inside to be able to
Mm-hmm.
make a change in the world outside.
Yep.
Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Um, it was really wonderful conversation, and I really
Thank you.
enjoyed the time we had
Me
together.
too.
Yeah, I felt like it was a minute, like 2 minutes.
Yeah, good.
um, I hope our audience will find this useful and full of knowledge. And I'm very glad that you had partnered with us to help us make the changes. Because a lot of time I can recommend a diet or I can recommend certain lifestyle changes. And although I tried as much as I can to be supportive and give the patient the time to discuss all their concerns, but I do need the support to implement,
Hmm.
to make sure that whatever I recommended or the change that needs to be done will be done or can be done, or is it, or at least 50% achieved. And I think having you in our membership program and as a nutrition coach is very helpful because it's really giving this extra dimension of extra support, um, and extra monitoring and extra listening and everything that the patient needs through their healing journey. So we're so honored to have you, and we really enjoyed so much the time we spent with you today.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
am
you for
honored too.
thank you for everything you're doing for the world around us and for everyone there.
Yeah, thank you. You too. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Yeah, this is it's been so wonderful.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.